Self-help YouTube channels and self-help books often tell you how to accomplish your goals. This is not a bad thing. In fact, if you look through our channel, you will find a litany of videos titled How to Blank, how to do something. But oftentimes we know how to do something, and what we need to do instead is identify why we're doing something. So for example, one of the biggest goals that most of us have is to get fitter, to be healthier, maybe to lose weight. But oftentimes, even though we know how to do it, we don't do it. And that's because we don't have a compelling enough why. We have compelling reasons why we don't lose weight. It's very difficult. It's very challenging not to eat the foods we love when they're so gratifying instantly. It's very difficult to work out. And we don't have a compelling why. We say, oh, I'll be healthier, I'll feel better about myself. When we have vague goals, and ultimately we don't accomplish them. So one technique that was developed, and there's a TED Talk on it, to combat this is to carry around a card of the reasons why we want to do something. And I was struck by one woman's particular card about why she wanted to lose weight and why she wanted to be healthier. And her reasons were to live long enough to see my granddaughter get married, to live in accordance in a way that pleases the Lord, to be a role model for my granddaughters, and to be healthy enough to care for my husband. Now, these are extremely compelling reasons. If we're sitting and looking at a donut and wondering if we want to eat it or not, and we have an image of our head of our 4-year-old granddaughter being married when she's older, and us not living long enough because we were so overweight and so unhealthy, that really will motivate us not to eat that particular thing. Similarly, taking care of your husband, if that's something that you value strongly, you want to continue to live independently, you want him to have a good life and not feel dependent on outside help, that can be a very compelling reason for you to be healthier. If you're extremely religious, living in a way that you think God wants you to live is a very compelling reason to lose weight. What reasons do we usually have? Well, I can tell myself, I usually say, well, I want to be more attractive, I want to be healthier, I want to look better. Those aren't particularly compelling reasons. First of all, they're very vague, and second of all, they're very generic and not even necessarily going to give us those things. Even if I did get in better shape, maybe I don't look better. Some people might think I look better now, right? So those won't really give us those feelings. They're not going to pull us towards our goals, and we're going to have to push ourselves towards that goal rather than being pulled by the compelling why. So if we can, we want to find a more compelling why for why we want our goals. So the second goal that almost everyone has is to make more money. Again, a lot of us think we don't know how, but surely if we really wanted to make more money, we could find a way. Now, first of all, we need to be specific about what we want and why we want it, because if I just have a goal, oh, I want to make more money, well, here's $1, now shut up, right? That's more money. So we need to know why we want more money and how much more money we want. So UPS used to have a program, I don't know if they still do, where they would give drivers too many packages to deliver. It was impossible for them to deliver every package on that day, but they got paid based on the number of packages that they were able to deliver. So they were incentivizing the drivers to stay longer, the drivers to go faster, and to deliver more packages. So this was a story about two drivers. One grew up very wealthy, and went to college, dropped out of college, and then took this job as a UPS driver. Now, he said he was very motivated. He said he wanted to make money. He looked at money as success. And he had that was his value, that making more money meant being more successful. The other driver had dropped out of high school. He grew up with a single mom. He worked really hard. He had a family, and he also wanted to make more money. But the reason why he wanted to make more money was much more compelling. To him, he grew up very poor. He didn't have a lot of opportunities. Yes, his mother worked hard. Yes, she put food on the table, but that was about all that they could do. So to him, the extra packages he delivered represented his daughter's violin lessons, and she loved playing the violin. To him, the extra packages he delivered represented his mom not being able to have someone come help her go to bed at night because she was old and needed help. To him, the extra money meant putting money away for his kids' college funds, because he had a dream that his children were going to go to college. And he believed that if he had enough money to pay for that college, they would find a way to get in. So these were incredibly compelling reasons for why he wanted to make more money. Now take a guess who worked more hours and who delivered more packages per hour. Of course, it was the second guy, because he had compelling reasons. It wasn't that the first guy didn't want to. He did want to. It wasn't that he didn't know how to. Of course he knows how to work more hours. That's not complicated. It was because he didn't have a compelling enough why. When you're tired and you're stressed out, you're not going to want to stay an extra half hour if you just have a vague goal of, oh, if I have more money, then I'll be happier. You're not going to want to stay to make an extra $10. But if that $10 means your mother can have someone help her get into bed so that she can continue to live independently and not be in a nursing home, you bet your ass you're going to stay that extra half hour or whatever it is. So having compelling whys will drive us towards our goals. So rather than focusing solely on how to achieve our goals, we need to come up with why we want our goals. And hopefully we can come up with really compelling reasons. Now, if you can't come up with really compelling reasons, there are two things you should do. Number one, you should think about whether or not you actually want that goal. So sometimes we think we really want something. We think we really want more money. But if you're living comfortably, maybe you don't really care that much. Maybe it's not that important to you, and the work that you would have to put in to get it isn't worth what you'll get out of it. So ask yourself, what am I willing to do? What am I willing to give up to get my goals? And if the answer is not that much, maybe you should change your goal. Maybe that doesn't need to be a goal for you. But if you decide that you do still want it, that you do still think it's a worthwhile goal, even though you can't come up with compelling reasons, there are still things we can do about it. So for me, I can't come up with ultra compelling reasons for why I should be healthier and fitter, but I still do want that goal. I don't want to let go of that goal. So there are two things that we can do to help with that. Number one is we can develop habits. When we don't have to think about things, it makes it easier to do them. So for example, I said earlier that if we have a choice between eating that donut and not, and the reason why we want to not eat that donut is, well, I want to be fitter in the future, we're probably not going to be able to resist that donut if we like donuts. But if we had compelling reasons like that woman in the story did, we are going to be able to resist it. So what we need to do instead, if we don't have those compelling reasons, is to create habits that make it so we don't even encounter that choice. So have habits of only going to the grocery store once a week, only eating in, and going to the grocery store when you're not hungry, when you can resist those things easily. Similarly, if we have compelling reasons, maybe that will get us to go to the gym even when we're not feeling super motivated. But if we can develop a habit of exercise, then we don't even need to be that motivated to get some exercise. So if we just make it a habit that we exercise every day no matter what, even if it's a bad workout, even if it's not long, then we don't have to think about it. And when we're thinking about it, that's when we need the compelling why. So habits can inoculate us against having to think about things and having to have that compelling why. The second thing we can do is, of course, increase mindfulness. When we increase mindfulness, we'll be taken out of the moment a little bit. I know mindfulness is usually about being in the present moment, but we'll be taking a step back. We'll be able to see things a little bit clearer and say, well, do I really want this or do I really want that? So if you can increase mindfulness, which is often difficult when we're in those moments where we're making a decision between rewarding ourselves now or trying to reach our goals in the future, that will help us stay on track and achieve our goals. So if you can come up with a compelling why you want your goals, it will help you dramatically in achieving your goals. So yes, knowing how to achieve your goals is very important, but we also need to come up with why. We need to know why we want to achieve our goals so that we have something pulling us towards our goals rather than having to push ourselves so hard to reach our goals. So I hope you enjoyed this video, and we'll see you next time.